seated. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, relatives, friends, and graduates, good morning, and welcome to the 14th graduation ceremony of the Croft Institute for International Studies. My name is Kees Gispen, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Executive Director of the Institute. We will try to keep this event as short as possible, but we have quite a few things to do, so I'd like to get started right away. First with housekeeping matters. Please put your cell phones on silent for the duration of the event. It will take approximately 45 minutes to an hour to do the program, and immediately following there's a reception and a luncheon on the veranda directly outside this room, to which everyone is invited, right here to my right, your left. There is a video monitor on the porch for overflow purposes. Next, I would like to thank all the people who have made possible today's joyous and important occasion. I would like to begin by thanking the trustees of the Croft Institute. It was the trustees of the Joseph C. Bancroft Charitable and Educational Fund who in 1997 agreed to fund the university's proposal for an international studies program. Since 1998, when the Croft Institute first opened its doors, the Bancroft Fund has contributed approximately $37 million to the Institute to pay for its operations, the renovation of this beautiful pre-Civil War building, the salaries of the staff and administrators, the Croft scholarships, and many of the dedicated Croft professors who teach the students in the Institute and whom you see here today. In that same period, our count of Croft graduates, including today's class, has reached a number of 367. We are particularly fortunate and honored today to have with us the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Croft Institute, Mr. Tom Abdallah, and his wife, Lindsay Abdallah. Tom and Lindsay, would you please stand? Next, I would like to thank the staff of the Institute, Associate Director Dr. Will Shank. Please stand. Dr. Shank is responsible for much of the day-to-day operations of the Institute. Along with him, my thanks go to Administrative Coordinator Robin Queen and Network Administrator Costa Osadov. Without the dedication of these professionals, their attention to detail, their foresight and energy, it would not be possible to operate the Institute. I also want to thank our student workers who serve as receptionists and building monitors and who perform the countless other tasks that make the program run as well as it did this past year. Some of these students are serving as ushers for this event here today. In this connection, I want to say a special word of thanks to Ms. Brooke Worthy, our much beloved academic program coordinator and admissions advisor, and the organizer and coordinator of this event, our in-house wedding planner, so to speak, who has brought a level of commitment and enthusiasm to the Croft Institute that has proved infectious with the students and the faculty alike, and who deserves a large share of the credit for making the Institute what it is today. Brooke has been with Croft since 2008, and we had hoped to have her continue with us indefinitely. But today she is here to say her goodbyes as she's embarking on a new chapter in her life and her career. We wish her the very best in her new endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Brooke and the other members. Next, I would like to thank and recognize the Croft faculty, many of whom are here seated to your right. As I call your name, professors, would you please stand and remain standing until all your names have been called? And would the audience please hold its applause until all faculty members have been recognized? Well, let me see who all is here. Professor Olivier Tonnerre, Professor of French, Professor Henrietta Young, Professor of Chinese and the Director of the Chinese Flagship Program. Professor Kees Gispen, Professor of Anthropology and Professor of International Studies at Croft. Professor Busquets, Gerard Busquets, Professor of Mathematics. Professor Noel Wilson, Professor of Japanese History and International Studies. Professor John Gutierrez, Professor of Spanish and Professor of International Studies. Professor Peter Frost, Professor of International Studies. Professor Vivian Ibrahim, Professor of Middle Eastern Studies and International Studies. Professor Oliver Dinius, Professor of Latin American Studies and Latin American History. Professor Corina Petrescu, Professor of German, and Professor Valentina Yefuri, thank you, sorry. She is Professor of Russian and Professor Kuro Ochiai, Professor of Japanese, Professor Ross Henfler, Professor of Anthropology, and Professor Yi Lin, Professor of Chinese. Who else? Is there some more here? There's some more. Oh, yes. Professor Anne Quinney. Who else is here? Yeah. And Professor Margaret Tillman, Professor of Chinese Studies. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize enough the essential nature and the contributions of the faculty. It's the faculty who generously give their time, their energy, their advice, and their specialized knowledge to our students day in, day out, who lecture, conduct seminars, grade papers and exams, who spend endless hours advising and consulting on senior theses. It is the faculty who do all that and who make the Institute what it is, and who make it possible for your sons and daughters to achieve the high levels of accomplishment they have in fact achieved. This service is all the more extraordinary if you put yourself in the shoes of the faculty for a moment. Let me illustrate the point with a personal example. When I was hired by the University of Mississippi more than 30 years ago, I was informed of what I'd have to do to remain employed in a permanent capacity and have a successful career. First and foremost, I would have to do scholarly research and to publish. Of course, after a long pause, good teaching and providing service were expected also. But there was and there is no doubt that publishing my research came first and everything else second. So publish or perish is a motto that I and many of my colleagues live by for a very good reason. In these circumstances, we must be especially grateful and give special thanks to all those Croft faculty members who go above and beyond the call of duty to work with our students, to make the personal sacrifices, and to spend the many hours of time with them, which have made it possible to turn these young men and women into the proud and successful senior thesis defenders, the sharp debaters, the careful analysts, the good writers, the applied linguists, the savvy travelers, and the all-around competent young adults who are the focus of our attention and the reason for this happy occasion today. Please join me in thanking the faculty with a round of applause. Today's event, Graduation Day, goes by many different names. Sometimes it's called matriculation, which strictly speaking means signing on to the roles of beginning students, which therefore is not really what we are doing here today. More often it's called commencement, as in the university's commencement services that took place earlier this morning. Now commencement, strictly speaking, is also a word signaling a beginning, the start of a new chapter in life, and therefore looking forward toward the future. While this is entirely appropriate, we at Croft call this event neither matriculation nor commencement, but a graduation ceremony. That is because I would like to take a few moments on this occasion, not to look forward, but to look back instead and to review the achievements over the past 4 years of the celebrants in our midst. First and foremost, we should reflect on the enormous personal distance these students have covered during their time in college. Entering as teenagers, possibly a bit naive, perhaps still somewhat immature, unsure of themselves, not exactly knowing what to expect or what to do with themselves, not quite aware of the extent of their potential, they leave as young adults infinitely more self-confident, mature, aware of their strengths and weaknesses, experienced with skills and knowledge that make them competitive for the next stage of their lives. Interesting individuals with whom it is a pleasure to sit down and have an intelligent conversation. To be able to witness this transformation take place during the 4 years they spend with us is one of the greatest privileges and most rewarding aspects of being an educator. So take a look at them. There are lots of double majors among them, students who have combined a major in international studies with another field of study, such as a foreign language, political science, economics, or business. A great many are also honors college graduates. There are several students here today who are completing not just 2 majors, but 2 separate degrees, which theoretically requires the equivalent of another year's worth of academic work, and who are doing so in 4 years. If you look at your program and take the trouble to count, you will see that we have a record number of 18 members of Phi Kappa Phi, 17 inductees to Phi Beta Kappa, 7 Taylor medalists. Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest and most prestigious honorary society in the country, and only about 1% of graduating seniors nationally earn that distinction. Croft students are the single largest group of Phi Beta Kappa inductees on campus. The Taylor Medal is the highest academic honor for undergraduates at the University of Mississippi, and every year only a very small number of students receive this award. For the students in our relatively small program to have earned 7 Taylor Medals out of some 50 total at the university is a huge accomplishment. All of the graduating seniors here today have studied abroad for a semester or a year. All of them have studied a foreign language for 4 or more years and reached high levels of proficiency in their chosen language. All of them have worked during their last year in college with a thesis mentor in a one-on-one setting and have written an impressive senior thesis, the titles of which are listed in your program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2014.